Shedeur Sanders had a little bit of a coming out party recently when pictures of him working out with Tom Brady went viral. Now as he enters the national spotlight, I thought it'd be a good time to make a video on well, just like his dad, a very interesting player and prospect. In this video, we'll go over Shedeur's high school career from the lows of getting ejected in the state championship to the highs of being called one of the best quarterbacks in the country. We'll also talk about which big-name schools have already offered him a scholarship and where he's likely to end up playing in college. First things first, Shedeur will actually be the fourth in the family to make it at the FBS level. Of course, his father went to Florida State as a three-sport athlete. He starred in the NFL and is considered by many to be the best cornerback of all time. And he played in the MLB too, sometimes in the same week. Deion's oldest son, Deion Sanders Jr. went to SMU. Naturally, having that primetime DNA correlates with some off-the-field headlines. And at SMU, Jr. probably had more of those headlines than ones about him on the field as a wide receiver. Off the bat, as a freshman, he lined his dorm room bed with Versace sheets. He also started his own clothing line with his dad's face as a best-selling t-shirt. And there was also an unfairly and stupidly scrutinized meetup he had with Lil Wayne. Anyway, Deion Jr. ended up not playing his final year at SMU, but he did apparently graduate there. On the field, he made a strong impact on special teams, especially his sophomore year when he was named second team all-conference as a kick returner. Shilo Sanders was next in line and was once a high school teammate of Shedeur before he graduated in 2019. Like his dad, he played defensive back, but when he got an offer from his dad's alma mater, Florida State, he instead opted for South Carolina. He played just 4 games his freshman year so he could come back as a redshirt freshman in 2020. He also tried to make the Gamecocks baseball team, like how his dad had once ruled in both sports, but Shilo was never looked at extensively by the baseball coaches. And now we have Shedeur Sanders. Here's a little scouting report from a 24/7 sports recruiting analyst. Athletic frame, moves well and can extend plays. Does a nice job making that initial pass rusher miss. Doesn't panic and shows poise and calmness in the pocket. Has dual threat ability and can pick up big chunks of yards with his legs, but doesn't take off and run as much as you would expect. Has enough arm strength to get the ball down the field and shows nice touch on his deep ball. Can tighten his release a bit, but has some solid tools that project well to college. Upside is an impact upper tier Power 5 starter and potential NFL draft pick. Shedeur is an absolute difference maker on the field. In 2016, Trinity Christian High School in Texas had gone 4-6. Then in 2017, Shedeur joined as a freshman. Oh, and his dad joined as offensive coordinator as well. Yes, Deion Sanders, possibly the best defensive back of all time, was coaching his son's high school team as offensive coordinator. The team went from below 500 ball to winning a championship the next year with a freshman quarterback. Shedeur threw for 34 touchdowns and 8 interceptions that year. The next year, he led the team to an undefeated season and a state championship, this time throwing for 42 touchdowns and just 7 picks. And in his junior season, the team did lose 1 game early in the year, but won the rest of them for a 3rd straight title. And Shedeur had his best year yet with 47 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, along with a career high in passing yards. But in the state championship, there were some very questionable calls involving cheap shots, and well, Shedeur chewed out the ref and ended up getting ejected. Safe to say Deion was not happy about it.
Don't you ever do this. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Yeah. Do you understand me? Yeah. You're a man. We don't play like that.
I'd say he's definitely a pocket passer at this point. I wouldn't say he's as much of a dual threat as you might have expected the quarterback son of Deion Sanders to be. Shedeur told Max Preps, "It's not any pressure living up to what my dad did, because I'm Shedeur Sanders. I'm a quarterback, not a cornerback. I'm not a running back, so there is no pressure at all. Whenever you had a dad who did what he did, then you have no choice to be great like him.
I think Tom Brady gonna win Super Bowl again. It's like, I think me and him's the GOAT. I think we're both the GOAT.
So as a pocket passer, what better influence to have than 6-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady? Shedeur posted about working out with Brady this past week, saying he was soaking up all the knowledge. Brady had replied, "You will determine what your future holds. I'm always here for you." Shedeur had even said a few years ago that he models his game after Brady. Now with him already having an offer from Michigan in hand, you gotta wonder if maybe Brady might have done a little talking about the Wolverines. After all, Brady's relationship with Michigan has improved recently, so maybe he could have done a little pro-Michigan pumping. Other schools have sent in offers according to a picture on Shedeur's Twitter, which are the following: Georgia, Penn State, Tennessee, South Carolina, UTEP, Oregon, Vanderbilt, Michigan, Southern Miss, LSU, Illinois State, Louisville, Syracuse, Auburn, Mississippi State, Arizona State, Baylor, Alabama, Colorado State, Boston College, Florida, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Liberty, and Houston. And there are some other schools reported as well, like UCF and UCLA. I'm going to start things off with Louisville, because they could be a serious contender. Shedeur told Cardinal Authority that he communicates frequently with the Cardinals coaching staff and says his relationship with them is going well. He's done multiple Zoom calls with them and also likes the staff's ability to break down the offense. Obviously, there's also some family ties to consider. Could he potentially follow his father's footsteps to Florida State? Touchdown Alabama has said, the Seminoles have been in contact with Shedeur despite their recent coaching changes. Most of Florida State's new staff also has a relationship with Shedeur, dating back to the times at their previous schools. I mean, at one point, Deion was being considered for the head coach at FSU. Even LeBron James tweeted about how perfect it would be. It didn't end up happening, but maybe he'd want to join the program in some capacity if Shedeur were to go there. Or maybe Shedeur would want to play with his brother Shilo once again at South Carolina. And when Shedeur was offered to play at Alabama, he tweeted the following: "I dreamt of this years ago. I have worked hard every day to reach this goal. After competing in the camp today and doing what I do, I was offered by Coach Nick Saban the opportunity to play football at the University of Alabama." I'd say that sounds like a man who has his sights set on something. I mean, it's not like Utah State and Florida Atlantic are getting the same type of love. Tom Lemon of CBS Sports, an analyst who saw Deion Sanders play in high school back in 1984, he said back in February that Shedeur was considering Florida State, Georgia, Penn State, Oregon, LSU, and Florida. He also said, "Don't be surprised if Shedeur is a 5-star very soon." And Shedeur retweeted this tweet that included those 6 schools. The QB has even said Georgia is one of those schools on the top of my list. There's no specific order right now, but I know how Georgia treated me so well. I looked into their offense and how I would fit into their system. It is definitely one of my tops. And when he visited Georgia, he tweeted the question, "Should I?" with the picture "commit to the G." The Bulldogs do already have a quarterback committed in this class, so that might bring down any chances. Oregon was the first to give him an offer, so they probably have some goodwill with Shedeur, but they already have a QB locked up too. Usually there's only one quarterback per class, and quite a few of these favorite schools already have someone signed. Shedeur has said that he will commit before the start of his senior season. I think there's still certainly a chance a school outside those 6 favorites listed could potentially swing in. But wherever he ends up, it's safe to say that school will be ready for... Let me know in the comments where you think Shedeur will end up. Maybe he's got a chance at your favorite school. All I know is that there sure are plenty of choices. And as always, please remember to sub it up.
Knowing that he played with this in the game and that he wore this necklace, you're not getting stuff like this if you don't really do nothing.
Be sure to shut the Shedeur on the way out.